I think my name is Ian, and today I'm going to show you how I took my parents' fireplace from this to this. So check it out. This fireplace is in my parents' home, and the existing tile is this ugly brown color which does not go with the rest of the decor in the house. The first thing I did was remove the metal and glass insert and set it aside. We'll address it in a bit. Next, I switched to using a sander. The goal here is to knock down the glaze on the tiles so that our new overlay will adhere properly. You always want to wear a mask when doing this, since the glaze I'm sanding off is essentially like glass, and you don't want to get those particles getting in your lungs. Once the sanding was completed, I wiped the surface clean of the sanding dust and began setting my straight line for the new veneer using a slim board. Then moved out to the saw to begin trimming my wood bricks from 1.5 by 4 inch boards. Then started gluing my first row with liquid nails. I used the scrap cutoffs of the boards as my spacers in between each one. Now, a quick disclaimer here, there is a danger when it comes to facing a fireplace with wood, but in this case, this is only a gas burning fireplace, which will not get as hot as a wood burning. And we checked the surface heat with the fireplace running beforehand to ensure this wouldn't create any fire hazards. While that first row was drying, I moved outside where I had the fireplace insert. The metal frame around this was brown like the tiles, and we needed to change that. After masking around the glass, I began coating it with a black high heat paint, similar to what you would use on your outdoor barbecue grill. After getting the inside painted with a few coats, I closed the doors back and masked the front glass and began adding coats to the face of the insert. Once it was dry, I brought the insert inside. I had already measured out the top row to ensure I left adequate space for the insert, but now I wanted to temporarily put it back in place to make sure the wood bricks on the sides and the bottom butted up nicely and evenly against it. With the insert back in, it was back to the grind and laying more bricks. The adhesive held really well right off the bat, but did have the tendency to slide down before it had dried. So a little painter's tape worked really well to remedy this. While taking a break to let the bricks dry, I began adding silicone caulking in between the joints of the bricks that were already in place. This will serve two purposes. Not only is it there to give the illusion of mortar, but it will also connect all the bricks to each other, essentially making it all one piece and holding everything together even more. So once the vertical sides were completed, I could move on to the bottom section, no longer had to worry about gravity trying to shift my bricks while they were drying. This made the project pace start to go a lot quicker. With all my rows bordering the insert completed, I can now pull it back out while I finish the rest. The existing fireplace tile actually turns and goes partially into the fireplace. I obviously wasn't going to start sticking wood bricks inside the fireplace, so instead I hit the inside with more of the high heat spray paint we used earlier. Since the inside of the fireplace was already black, this blended in perfectly, and the sanding we did earlier made the surface able to easily accept the paint. Now is on to finishing up the last few bricks. My oscillating multi-tool came in handy when it came to cutting shapes to go around the mantle and ensure a snug fit. I alternated between laying bricks and then caulking the joints of the ones that were dry. One thing I did while caulking was wipe off any of the excess on the face of the wood bricks. Since we're trying to simulate brick here, it's good to have some random textures so that everything isn't completely uniform. With the last row down, the seams were sealed, and then I allowed everything to cure overnight. The next morning I used another board to draw a straight edge along all the overhangs of the wood bricks. Then I switched back to my multi-tool to trim everything flush. I discovered to get a really straight cut, I first just lightly scored the line all the way across, then came back in and followed the grooves to finish cutting the rest of the depth. Follow that up with a sander just to slightly round over the exposed edges before sealing the final edge with caulking. Alright, the home stretch, painting. This is what's really going to sell the look of the bricks, while also tying it into the rest of the fireplace. And while we're sitting here watching paint dry, I did want to bring up the exposed subfloor in the living room. This was one of the reasons I initially visited my parents, was to help them remove all the flooring in their house and to get ready for the new flooring they currently have on the way. I didn't make a video of that process. However, in addition to this video, I also posted another video of a project that I did while I was here of creating a chandelier out of pallet wood for my parents' eating area. If you haven't already checked that one out, I'll have it linked in the description. With the paint dry, I reattached the fireplace insert, being careful not to damage everything I just painted. And with that back in place, this project was finished. Hope you all enjoyed this project. If you did, let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more future projects, and I'll catch you on the next one.